trajectory for the past 8 days, with the Minister of Health warning of increased community transmission of the new Omicron variant.
Nancy Okware opens our coverage tonight with that report.
For the past 8 days, the country has been experiencing a spike in COVID-19 infections, with the Ministry of Health warning of increased community transmission of the Omicron variant. So far, Kenya has confirmed 27 Omicron cases. After maintaining a relatively low positivity rate, the country reverted to recording a double-digit positivity rate on the 14th of December, which stood at 11.5%, just a day before the Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe announced the detection of the Omicron variant in the country. From the 17th of December to date, the country has been recording a positivity rate of above 20%. The latest statistics from the ministry indicate a positivity rate of 29.6% following the confirmation of 1,020 new infections from 3,444 samples screened in the last 24 hours.
Tunajua kwamba watu wengi wanapata kazi na biashara nyingi sasa umepatikana, na kutokana na hiyo makazi nyingi napatikana. Kwa hivyo hatuwezi kuunga uchumi ufungwe tena. Mimi najua ya kwamba kwa sasa Wakenya wengi wamejua ya kwamba hii ugonjwa wa COVID-19 upo. Tunajua ya kwamba Omicron iko na watu wanafuata maagizo ya Wizara ya Afya, na tunaendelea kuambia Wakenya waendelee kufuata maagizo ya Wizara ya Afya.
Since the onset of the pandemic, Kenya has recorded a total of 264,727 COVID-19 infections out of the over 2.9 million samples screened. No death was reported from the disease, with the total of fatalities so far standing at 5,353. The Ministry of Health is urging more people to present themselves for vaccination against the disease. So far, only 8.9 million people have been vaccinated against COVID-19, with 5.3 million being partially vaccinated and another 3.6 million being fully vaccinated. Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
On to security matters now. The National Police Service is now urging Kenyans to avoid unnecessary travels to curb the spread of COVID-19 cases in the country. Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai says that the country is witnessing an upsurge of the COVID-19 and that there was need to minimize movements and that it was not a must for people to travel up country. Zainab Said reports.
The Inspector General of Police, Hilary Mutyambai, says 3,000 officers from the prisons will be enjoined in the National Police Service to boost security. He, however, noted that the officers will first be declared as special officers before being posted to different parts in the country.
The service has deployed adequate security personnel and enhanced patrols to forestall any security threats. To this end, I appreciate the gesture by the Commissioner General Prison Service for augmenting our strength with an additional 3,000 prison officers.
Assuring Kenyans of their security, Mutyambai, however, has reiterated that officers still on leave should report back to their workstations.
To ensure the availability of adequate security personnel, I have directed that all police officers who are currently on leave to resume duty with immediate effect.
The IG also called on Kenyans and motorists to be keen on the roads during the festive season.
We have resources at our disposal to ensure everybody enjoys these festivities of this season of Christmas without any disruption, including all the Kenyans working with us. I assure every Kenyan that the festivities are secured enough for you to enjoy yourself.
He said there has been an increase in road crash statistics in the month of November, with 4,121 Kenyans losing their lives compared to 3,478 Kenyans in the same period last year. For Prime Edition, I'm Zainab Said.
To politics now. Deputy President Dr. William Ruto says the program of issuing title deeds to landowners will be completed as part of the Hustler movement's broader scheme to resolve the delicate land question in our country. Ruto was in Mombasa for his second day tour, said the bold move will ensure that the land issue is no longer used as a political bait during electioneering period. Ruto also promised to ensure that the mega programs commenced by the government in the coastal region that included the Dongo Kundu Special Economic Zone are completed to boost the economy of the region and create jobs for many jobless youth.
Ruto, who held talks with a group of elders, said the government is committed to end the land problem and squatter issue, which has been a thorn in the flesh, by ensuring all are issued with title deeds.
Tayari tumetoa hati miliki 400,000 kumaanisha ya kwamba we are committed to ending the squatter problem and the land question in Kenya, because we have started the journey to sort out and to give a permanent solution to matters of land.
The Deputy President promising that the government is fast-tracking the power connection project to ensure all households within the coastal region are connected. Ruto promising that if elected president in 2022, he will invest Kenya shillings 100 billion for value addition and manufacturing, hence creating job opportunities for the Kenyan youth.
Ndio tuweke nafasi milioni 4 za vijana wetu wa Kenya, kwa sababu hawa vijana wengi, nimekuwa Mombasa hapa nikasikitika sana kuona vijana maelfu juu ya maelfu wamezama kwa mambo ya madawa, uhalifu, mambo ya pombe. Mimi nawaambia tuko na imani ya kwamba mwaka ujao tutatengeneza nafasi za kutosha za kazi ili tuweze kuinua hawa vijana wetu ambao leo wanahangaika kwa sababu ya kukosa ajira.
He has, however, refuted allegations by some coastal leaders that Standard Gauge Railway was built to kill Mombasa economy, saying it is a few individuals who have taken advantage of the railway for their selfish gains.
Mimi nawaambia mwaka ujao inshallah tutahakikisha ya kwamba ile mpango kamili ya SGR ikiambatana na mradi wa Special Economic Zone ambayo tuko na ardhi karibu ekari 3,000 hapa Dongo Kundu itaanzishwa, ndio tuweke mpango kamili ya kuhakikisha kwamba mji wa Mombasa inarudi katika hali ilivyokuwa.
For Prime Edition from Mombasa County, I'm Michael Mondiga.
Now, operation in search of 2 people who were believed to have been buried under the rubble of the building that collapsed in Murang'a County has been called off after 2 missing plumbers resurfaced. Stephen Musembi and Benson Dungu, who narrated how they managed to jump out of the building, said they decided to revisit the construction site today to find out whether their colleagues managed to escape the tragedy.
Operations at the Sunstar Hotel in Murang'a came to a close Monday after 2 people who were believed to be under the rubble resurfaced. Stephen Musembi, who was the first to resurface, was taken to task to explain where he has been since the building he was working on collapsed.
The moment tumetoka kwa hii nyumba step moja ya pili, ile nyumba imesimama ikapushiwa hivi na ikarudi. Mwenye alikuwa mbele yangu akaniuliza ni nini hiyo? Nikamwambia ni nyumba inaanguka. Yeye akatoroka. Mimi si kutoroka. So nilisimama tu hapo. So venye niliangalia nyuma hivi, niliona 5th floor ikishuka hadi hapo ikipita mahali karibu niko.
Musembi, who has been staying alone at his rural home in Machakos, said he opted to revisit the construction site to find out whether his colleagues managed to escape.
Tuseme ni muujiza. Juu kutoka hiyo kisanga ifanyike, sikuwa nataka kusikia mtu ananiuliza ati watu wako ni wangapi. Sikuwa nataka kusikia hivyo, but nimeendelea nikirecover kidogo kidogo.
With all the 8 people who are missing following the Friday incident accounted for, the government has closed down the operation, leaving investigative agencies to carry on with their duty of bringing to book all those who neglected their work for such an occurrence.
Pale tulipata watu 5 kama wameaga. Tukapata mtu mwingine jana mwenye alikuwa uhai na akapelekwa hospitali, alikuwa ameumia mkono. Alafu wakati tulikuwa tunamalizia 2 wakajitokesha kama wanatembea na miguu yao na tukadhibitisha.
Imeandikwa kabisa unsafe, lakini hiyo unsafe lazima isemekane ni nini ndio ipeanwe ruhusa ya kubomoa, na hiyo kazi ni ya National Construction Authority. Wakimaliza kufanya hivyo, sababu hii ni biashara, najua mwenyewe atataka kurudia kazi yake, ndio tunasema kuna masharti lazima ati ndio afunguliwe kufanya kazi.
The incident has claimed lives of 6 people and left 2 fighting for their dear lives at Thika Level 5 Hospital, one of them having been rescued alive Sunday after being under the debris for 3 days. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
In Kisii County, a mother and her 2 children are fighting for their lives at Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital after her drunk husband allegedly hacked them with a panga. Confirming the incident, Kisii County Police Commander Francis Coley said the woman was in intensive care unit while her children are in the general ward nursing serious panga wounds.
Residents of Enabo village Nyaure in Kitutu Chache, South Kisii County are still trying to come to terms with a horrific incident where an alleged drunk husband hacked his wife and his 2 children with a panga. While confirming the incident, Kisii County Police Commander Francis Coley revealed that the mother is critical.
The mother is still at the ICU being attended to, and we hope she will be safe from the theater and come back at least to give us hope again.
Daniel Asiego, age 38, differed with his wife after a drinking spree, and a domestic quarrel ensued into a quarrel which generated into a brawl.
This is something that we've been discouraging within the community, that the violence will not reach an extent where people are being maimed, killed because of issues that can be solved.
When the children aged 10 and 19 intervened, they too faced the wrath of their father. Asiego, who is a technician and also serves as a mechanic, fled from the scene on a motorcycle and surrendered himself to the police at Nacheko. The 3 victims will later be rushed to the hospital by neighbors before irate residents torched their house baying for their father's blood.
Akakuja akafika wakati mwingine akaanza kujiingiza na grupu zingine, akaanza kuwa mlevi, akawa hawaelewani na mke wake wa kwanza.
Neighbors James Onsogo and Samson Nyangaresi blamed the incident on drunkenness by the couple.
Wanakijiji walikasirika, wakasema sasa huyu mtu si alitoroka, wacha tuchome nyumba yake. Nyumba hii ilichomwa na wanakijiji, sio mtu mmoja.
Walipigana bibi yake, alafu baadaye ndio alimkatakata. Baada ya kukatakata ndio tulikuja tukamchukua hospitali, yeye akatoroka na pikipiki.
The commander expressed concern over increase of such cases in the region. Coley has called on members of the public to report such incidences and refrain from taking matters into their own hands.
Now, the Council of Governors has decried a 398 million shillings reduction in the proposed recurrent expenditure budget ceilings for the next financial year by the Commission on Revenue Collection. The Council accuses CRA of ignoring the uniqueness of different county governments, as well as the fact that new administration and MCAs will need induction after next year's general election in August.
With the next financial year expected to begin in June next year, just 2 months to the general election, the Council of Governors met Monday to deliberate on the future of devolution pre- and post-election. The council decrying a 398 million shillings cut in the proposed recurrent expenditure budget ceilings for the next financial year by the Commission on Revenue Allocation.
Indeed, certain counties have a larger land mass than others, and therefore the costs incurred in conducting of public participation and sensitization may differ from one county to another.
With new administrations coming to the counties after the elections, the governors faulted CRA for imposing the ceilings, even without considering the induction costs for new MCAs.
The county assemblies draft budget ceiling for the year 2022-2023 have not provided for induction costs of the new leadership coming in after the 2022 general elections. This is so despite the fact that induction is a key component of onboarding of the new county leadership to ensure that there is a seamless transition.
The governors have also accused the Ministry of Health of operating in secrecy in the presentation of a proposal to borrow a loan from Museo Bank for the upgrade of 20 maternity and newborn facilities in 12 counties.
Whereas the counties are not opposed to the construction of the hospitals, this exercise must be undertaken in accordance with the Constitution, being cognizant of the fact that health is a devolved function.
Meanwhile, Mary Mweti has been confirmed as the substantive CEO of the Council of Governors ahead of its election slated for the 27th of January next year. John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
The bicameral parliament is set to hold a special sitting Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to debate matters of national interest. Top on the agenda is vetting and approval of the nominee for appointment to the position of Chairperson Public Service Commission and the Political Parties Amendment Bill 2021. The legislators are convening the special sitting amid a 7-week annual-long recess that ends late January 2022.
While concluding House business of the 5th session, speakers of both houses had hinted that the House might reconvene before the beginning of the 6th session to allow members dispense with a number of House business of national interest. Part of what will be debated on the Tuesday morning and afternoon sittings at the National Assembly include approval of the nominee for appointment to the position of Chairperson Public Service Commission and the nominees for appointment to the positions of members of the National Gender and Equality Commission. Also lined up for consideration are several pending bills, among them the Political Parties Amendment Bill 2021, which will be read for the second time before the floor of the House, Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Amendment Bill 2021, the Huduma Bill 2021, and also consideration of the Senate amendments to the National Hospital Insurance Fund Amendment Bill 2021. Members will be forced to hold evening sittings on the 2 days to conclude House business. But legislators allied to the United Democratic Alliance Party claim there is a motive to use the Tuesday and Wednesday National Assembly sittings to sneak in amendments to the Political Parties Act.
What was so urgent? Why wasn't that debate brought into the floor of the House when Parliament was in session? And if there was no intention of cutting out so many members of Parliament who may have travelled now for the Christmas festive season, why would you not allow an opportunity as a speaker for a robust debate on these amendments if they truly are going to affect the whole nation?
The legislators in support of Deputy President William Ruto said the timing was suspicious as many members were already on Christmas break.
And I would hope that somebody will be listening and taking some deep thought, because nothing stops Parliament from resuming their sessions in January on the second week or third week and debating and commencing a robust debate on those laws as to whether they will be applicable in August 2022.
And if there are any viable options that are required to better the system of elections in Kenya, then they must be brought within the permissible legal framework.
The MPs are on a 7-week annual long recess set to resume by the end of January 2022. Kamche Menza for Prime Edition.
Straight into the corridors of justice, the High Court has nullified the suspension of Mboya as Chief Executive Officer of the Law Society of Kenya and the Caretaker Council. According to the judgment delivered by Justice Anthony Mrima, the special general meeting where the resolutions that led to the expulsion of members were made was not properly convened. The court further ordered the LSK Legal Counsel to convene within the next 21 days.
It is a blow to the Law Society of Kenya President Nelson Havi after the High Court nullified the Caretaker Council and reinstated Mboya as the Chief Executive Officer. The court directed Nelson Havi to be the spokesperson of LSK. Previously, the Law Society of Kenya had been marred by leadership wrangles, pitting Havi and the CEO Mboya, resulting to the emergence of two splinter groups. In a judgment delivered by Justice Anthony Mrima that termed the Caretaker Council as an illegal entity, it now means that all resolutions and decisions made by it are illegal and void. The Legal Council is to convene within 21 days, failure to which the chair's caucus shall take over the functions of the council.
Yes.
Meanwhile, police informant Peter Ngugi was put to task through a cross-examination by defense lawyers, including Katwa Kagan and Cliff Ombeta, among others. Ngugi testified to being part of the plan in his engagement with the accused police officers in the murder probe of slain lawyer Willie Kimani and his client.
Yeah. Unajua kama unataka kusema tulichukua pesa ndio ukuongea, sasa unajua unaendelea tu kujipaka matope. Unaendelea kujipaka tu kabisa. Sasa mimi nakuuliza swali fulani. Hukuuliza sio? Alikuwa hapa hivi. Na kijitetea sio uliona? Ulikuwa na hiyo nafasi ya kumuuliza.
The hearing continues on Tuesday, the 21st. Finally, former Laikipia North Member of Parliament Matthew Lempurkal has been released on a cash bail of 100,000 Kenyan shillings pending an appeal. Lempurkal had been sentenced to 1 year in jail for assaulting the current Member of Parliament Laikipia North, Sarah Korere. Serafina Robi for Prime Edition.
In other news, a medical facility in Kirinyaga was today razed down with property of unknown value destroyed. The cause of the fire that began after midday remains unknown. Kirinyaga Head of Fire Brigade John Kiama has made a call to residents to report cases of fire to them first instead of calling the police to allow a faster response from the team. This story and more in our County News Roundup.
The cause of the fire incident that began around 12:30 p.m. is yet to be established, but speculations indicate the fire could have been as a result of an electric fault. Luckily, no one was hurt in the fire. Residents, led by Philip Mwendo, lauded the fire brigade department for their swift response, noting that this helped to successfully put out the fire in a short period of time.
Watu wao wanapigia fire brigade, kwa sababu wanapigia chief ama wanapigia police, wakati unawaita na wanaanza kutafuta watu wa fire brigade, lakini ungeita fire brigade haraka wangekuja.
Students who are reported to have engaged in criminal activities while in school will not be readmitted to continue with their studies. The principal secretary in the State Department for Early Learning and Basic Education in the Ministry of Education said the ministry is determined to weed out bad characters from learning institutions.
Never do we allow anybody, it doesn't matter how disgruntled you are, we don't allow anybody to destroy property.
Meanwhile, CIA Deputy County Commissioner Enyok Nyarango is calling on contractors given the job to build competency-based curriculum classrooms for junior secondary learners to ensure a timely delivery of the project.
Our aim is to ensure that no student is locked out of school because of space. So we hope that as we undertake this and the other similar projects that are on the way, the challenges we have been having in the density populated schools will come to an end and will be a thing of the past.
Finally, trade unions of workers in the public service sector have warned that the continued privatization of public institutions will lower the quality of services rendered to consumers.
In the private sector, we know that it is profit over anything else, and we cannot afford to have the lives of our people being traded over profit. We are saying no to that. It's not going to happen. We shall stand firm.
Yusufar reporting for Prime Edition.
Well, that story brings us to a fast break right here on KBC Prime. The season is here.
Happy holidays, and of course enjoy carefully. The COVID-19 positivity rate is now at 29%. You know, stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, put on the mask, socially distance.
All the protocols still stand.
I'll be standing in for Cynthia Nyamai. Coming up next is Business News. See you shortly.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii ya mwanzo mpya, bonyeza *811*815#.
Usikae hapo na kujihurumia eti kwa sababu ulikosea ama ulianguka. Maisha wakati mwingine utapata umeanguka ama umekosea. Pata mafunzo pale. Unapopata mafunzo, inuka tena. Kung'uta mavumbi, songa mbele. Yaliyopita jamani, si ndwele, ganga yajayo. Maana kuna nguvu katika mwanzo mpya.
Ili kupata skiza tune hiyo ya mwanzo mpya, bonyeza *811*815#. *811*815#.
My youth, my treasure. I will use it to positively build my country Kenya. Kenya all the way. Kujenga nchi ni wajibu wetu kama mayouth. Tujitokeze, tukae rada. This message is brought to you by the Government of Kenya.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
It's now time for business news. I'm standing in for Cynthia Nyamai. Passengers from Kenya will not be able to travel to Dubai for the next 48 hours after a ban was imposed for all inbound and transit passenger flights from Kenya. The ban has been occasioned by a surge in COVID-19 cases locally. The new directive took effect Monday at 9:30 a.m. Kenyan time. However, the suspension does not affect cargo flights and passenger flights from Dubai to Nairobi. This comes as Kenya recorded one of the highest COVID-19 positivity rate at 29.6% following the confirmation of 1,020 infections out of 3,444 samples screened. Kisumu County is banking on its stature as one of the only 5 credit-rated counties to attract county bonds to spur economic growth. Kisumu Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, who spoke during the official opening of the 3-day Kisumu International Investment Summit and Expo, said cash from the National Treasury is not enough to fund the various development projects in counties, hence the need for devolved units to seek alternative funding sources.
The county is holding its very first International Investment Summit and Expo in a bid to showcase investment opportunities within the devolved unit.
We have invited various experts in various fields, but the theme of the conference really is how we can develop Kisumu County and Kisumu City in partnership with those who can invest in this county.
To spur economic growth, Kisumu County is leveraging on its stature as one of the only 5 credit-rated counties alongside Bungoma, Makueni, Laikipia and Mombasa to create an alternative source of capital in the form of county bond, which has also been tapped by Laikipia County.
And in Laikipia, they've gone very far. They, like us, are credit-rated. That means that we can have access to capital markets. But they have gone ahead and even gotten a county bond, thanks to James.
So the idea is for the county to be the borrower, and that requires it to be credit-rated, and that requires you to have a certain fiscal standard that you're operating into to give investors through the capital markets confidence that they will invest, they will get their return, and ultimately they will get paid back their money.
The refurbished Kisumu port, the railway line to Kisumu, as well as the county's strategic position in the East African community presents investors an opportunity to tap into the blue economy.
On the Lake Victoria, the only place you could go and do a boat or a ship was in Mwanza. Now we have ours. The first ship it is producing will be afloat in February. It's called MV Uhuru number 2. MV Uhuru number 1 is already taking petroleum goods and other goods between us and Entebbe, and Port Bell. And it's doing a fantastic job. When MV Uhuru 2 comes out in February, there will be much more business at the port going between the port of Kisumu and others.
According to Professor Nyong'o, the additional aspect of rapid urbanization being witnessed in Kisumu presents another investment opportunity. For Prime Edition, I am Wycliffe Okage.
Moving on, Kenya is turning its focus on climate-smart agriculture as the country battles the impact of changing climate trends. To this end, farmers in dairy, horticulture, livestock and energy sectors in 17 counties will benefit from a 6 billion credit kitty under the Kenya Investment Mechanism program by Family Bank. The bank chief, Rebecca Mbidi, says the initiative aims at funding climate-smart agriculture technologies to enhance food security in the country.
Climate change over the years has worsened weather-related risks such as droughts, floods, pests and diseases, exposing farmers to huge losses. In light of climate change, the Family Bank Pay for Performance initiative aims at scaling up climate-smart agriculture technologies to enhance the climate resilience for agricultural value chains.
Climate-smart interventions encourage as minimal use as possible of destructive pesticides and as much as possible the use of integrated pest management approaches, IPM.
Going forward, farmers in agricultural value chains, including dairy, horticulture, livestock and energy sectors across 17 counties, including Homa Bay, Migori, Kisii, Kisumu, Siaya, Kakamega, Bungoma, Busia, Vihiga, Kitui, Makueni and Taita Taveta, as well as Isiolo, Marsabit, Turkana, Garissa and Wajir will going forward benefit from the 6 billion shillings credit kitty.
Elsewhere, Postal Corporation of Kenya are on strike protesting a 3-month delay in payment of their salaries, noting that the parastatals management has given them a deaf ear. The Communications Workers Union officials are now calling on the government to intervene to resolve their issues.
Years of mismanagement and tech disruption have rendered the Postal Corporation of Kenya almost irrelevant as it struggles to keep its lights on and make enough to pay its bills.
We are making it very clear today. We are not missing out even halfway. What we are saying is very clear. We don't want Dan Kagwe anymore at the helm of the corporation.
Due to delays in salary payment over the last 3 months, the workers claim that some of them are now sinking into depression.
There are others who have died of depression. There are also others who have actually been hosted elsewhere. And we need the government to come out so clearly and sort this matter out.
Management wanatuambia post iko na shida. Mimi nasema kama hili shirika liko na shida, Kagwe kwa nini
na board members na management, mpatie ili shirika serikali, muambie tumeshindwa.
The Communication Workers Union officials claim Posta has also not been remitting deductions made on workers' salaries such as NHIF, pension and loans that has seen a number of them listed on CRBs.
And time has come when we shall go to GPO na kukataza hawa hata kuingia kwa hiyo ofisi. I'm going to make it, and ndugu yangu, let that be on record that we have said the board of PCK is not giving direction and they must leave. They have no business earning allowances.
The workers are calling for government intervention to address the funding and management challenges they claim the Postal Corporation of Kenya currently faces.
The pay-as-you-earn is also remitted. At times, KRA attaches our accounts because the organization is not able to do that. So the organization is shambles. The management are not bothered about our lives. Right now, as we talk, there are members of staff whose houses have been locked.
The Postal Corporation of Kenya was one of Kenya's most valuable assets, a commercial giant, and had footprints across the country. Ruth Wamboi for Prime Edition.
On a separate matter, the government has called on those fishing along the Lake Victoria region to embrace modern methods of fish farming to boost production and address the shortage of fish. Fisheries Principal Secretary Dr. Francis Owino says the government is engaging farms involved in cage fish farming within the lake to transfer technology and skills to local farmers to scale up production.
The Kenya Fisheries Service says production of fish from Lake Victoria has reduced from 200,000 metric tons in 2012 to 90,000 metric tons currently. This figure is set to drop further following an increase in the number of illegal fishing activities within the lake. To address this deficit, the government is engaging development partners who are in turn to empower local fishermen.
We have discussed, and I think we will follow up the program. We should have farmers attached to the company, being supported by the company. It is work in progress and it is very, very good.
Delegates at a multi-agency stakeholders coordination and consultation meeting on the Lake Victoria Blue Economy held at the Mboya Labour College in Kisumu said the question of dwindling fish stocks in Lake Victoria was a big concern, which required concerted efforts to save the once giant fish producer through development of various facilities.
Landing sites, Lwanda landing site is going to cost us 70 million. Sori landing site is going to cost us 70 million. I did indicate that we are doing these landing sites to completion.
Investors have expressed interest in setting up a Nile Perch multiplication center in Kisumu to boost fish stocks in Lake Victoria.
Have brought in substantial resources to develop the infrastructure, but we are also in negotiations specifically with the Victory Farms, which is in Sindo. So the beach landing sites along that area are going to be plugged into and also be supported by the Victory Farms.
The state-of-the-art facility to be constructed at Kabonyo Kanyagwal area in Nyando sub-county shall also be a center of excellence in Nile perch production and its value chain. Alanauko, Prime Edition.
The forensic audit of the Kenyati Development Authority will be released in February 2022. The forensic audit is expected to shed more light on the extent of mismanagement perpetrated by former directors. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya says that anyone found culpable of mismanagement at KTDA and aligned tea factories will be prosecuted.
The forensic audit will cover tea factories, 9 subsidiaries and the Kenyati Development Agency holdings, covering a span of 5 years. Besides unraveling the financial status of the agency, the audit will also determine the action to be taken against former directors who were fired from KTDA in June this year. The ousted former directors have mounted a major legal pushback, seeking to annul their ousters. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Mboya says the reforms are aimed at protecting tea farmers and ensuring they reap the most from their yields. Mboya has warned tea factories that interfere with the weighing machine in tea collection centers.
Audit ni kuhakikisha tumeelewa shida ya factory hii ni gani, ndio tuweze kurekebisha mara ya mwisho mkulima aendelee kupata nafuu.
The government has embarked on random checks of weighing machines to ensure farmers are not ripped off by unscrupulous tea factories.
Na yote ni pesa ya nani? Ya mkulima. Hiyo pia tuna audit tujue ni gani tutafunga, ni gani tutarekebisha, cost ya K3 pia iende chini, mkulima apate nini? Apate pesa.
Tulijua ile mashida tuko nayo ya wakulima ni mingi. Lazima tukasema we are going to be focused in serving the farmers. Na hiyo mambo yote tumefanya ni mambo ambayo mwelekeo yake ni kuhakikisha mkulima ameinuka. Tupigana na ufukara, tupigana na shida zile tuko nazo na tuweza kuinua jamii yetu.
KTDA Holdings National Chairman David Ichoho promised farmers better returns next year, saying he is committed to seeing the cartels behind tea auctions are dealt with. Reporting for Prime Edition, my name is Ibak Said.
And more Kenyans are embracing digital credit financing options in a bid to own expensive electronic consumer goods as opposed to a one-off lump sum cash payment. Some attribute this trend to convenience and flexibility, but latest pay-as-you-go data from Angaza indicates that the norm has been fueled by an increase in the number of people who are unable to pay upfront to a high-end products.
Hire purchase involves an arrangement made for expensive consumer goods in which a buyer makes an initial down payment, then pays the balance in installments. This is a business transaction that is effective for individuals or companies in need of expensive consumer goods and products.
The market is, changing. Demand is changing. Our consumer demand is changing, and we have seen more adoption of smartphones, TVs, laptops, refrigerators.
In Kenya, latest data from Angaza, which is a provider of sales and customer management technology for last-mile distributors, shows that there is a paradigm shift in the way Kenyans prefer to purchase their consumer products.
Smartphone adoption in East Africa is expected to grow by 18% and by 2025, and that's from 42% to 60%. We've also seen over 100 million people adopt clean cooking stoves between 2015 and 2018.
The model is also designed to support distribution businesses in selling products to reflect their consumers' unique needs. However, many still fail in honoring partial payments. Customers say hire purchase is ideal because it helps reduce the purchasing pressure. Alanauko, Prime Edition.
Internationally, the Netherlands will go into a strict lockdown over the Christmas and New Year period to try and contain the highly contagious Omicron virus. Now, all non-essential shops and services, including restaurants, hairdressers, museums and gyms, will be closed until January 14. Here are more details of this and other stories from across the world.
Other measures include a recommendation that households receive no more than 2 visitors and that gatherings outside are also limited to a maximum of 2 people. Infections in the Netherlands have dropped from record levels in recent weeks after introduction of a nighttime lockdown last month. The Omicron variant arrived as the country was already battling a wave in coronavirus infections. Cases of the variant have surged since it was first found in the Netherlands 3 weeks ago, while hospitals are struggling with the large numbers of COVID-19 patients in the wards near the highest levels this year. Meanwhile, Toyota Motor Corporation said it will suspend production at 5 domestic factories in January due to supply chain issues, chip shortages, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Japan's top automaker said that the stoppage at the factories will affect about 20,000 vehicles, but won't impact their annual target to manufacture 9 million vehicles. Last week, Toyota said it was projecting a bigger reduction in vehicle production in North America in January to 50,000 units due to supply chain issues. Finally, Chinese artificial intelligence startup SenseTime Group has relaunched its $767 million Hong Kong share sale. The announcement comes a week after a listing was pulled as Americans were banned from investing in the firm. Washington has accused SenseTime of developing facial recognition software to determine people's ethnicity with a focus on identifying ethnic augurs. The company's shares are due to start trading on Hong Kong Stock Exchange on December 30th. The planned listing was postponed last week after the U.S. Treasury Department placed SenseTime on a list of Chinese military-industrial complex companies which bans Americans from investing in certain firms. Reporting for Prime Edition, I am Teresa Mutai.
And that's the latest in the business world. Thank you for your company. We'll take a short break. Karen Kibet will be back with the sports news. Stay with us.
You could be seated there, not knowing you're the newest millionaire in town. Want to know how? There are billions of unclaimed financial assets held by the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority in the form of security deposits, shares, long-forgotten bank savings, pension money, among others that are waiting for the rightful owners to claim them, and you might be one of them. Stop searching in the wrong places. Visit ufaa.go.ke or dial *361# and find out if there's any unclaimed cash and other financial assets in your name. Labda umeomoka na ujui. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
The KBC Board of Directors, Management and Staff wishes all our esteemed listeners, viewers and clients a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We wish you peace, joy and prosperity throughout the coming year. Thank you for your continued support and partnership. May your holidays be filled with happiness and good cheer.
Welcome back. Thank you for keeping it KBC Prime Edition. My name is Karen Kibet. Let's now take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. Now, Kenya Premier League champions Tusker are among the teams that will be hoping to walk away with the Team of the Year award during the Sports Personality of the Year Soya Gala Night on January 19th in Kakamega County. The Brewers won the Premier League with 65 points from 32 matches in a season that was heavily hit by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Tusker FC are optimistic that having beaten the likes of record champions Gor Mahia in the race for the league title, it will be more than enough to be crowned the best team of the year at the Soya Gala to be held in Bukungu on January 19th. They also produced the Coach of the Year, Young Player of the Year and Defender of the Year during the FKF Awards Gala. After winning the league, Coach Robert Matano's men flew Kenya's flag in the CAF Champions League, where they beat Djibouti's Atasola to advance to the preliminary stages of the competition, where they lost 5-0 on aggregate to Egyptian giants Zamalek, and they dropped to the CAF Confederations Cup and again lost to Tunisian side Sfaxien. They will, however, face stiff competition in the gala that is sponsored by the county government of Kakamega, Lotto Foundation, CPF Financial Services, NSSF and Safaricom from 4 other top teams. Tusker will have to beat the likes of Shuja, the National Rugby Sevens team, 2 other rugby sides, KCB RFC and Kabras Sugar RFC, and Talanta Football Club.
Thank you, Barkley, for that report. Moving on, Kenya retained the Mombasa Open Tong Ilmudu International Martial Arts Championship title for the 9th year in a row after bagging 128 medals, 39 gold, 33 silver and 56 bronze. Philippines and Democratic Republic of Congo finished 2nd and 3rd respectively.
Kenya retained the Mombasa Open Tong Ilmudu International Martial Arts Championship title for the 9th year in a row. The tournament, which ended at Aga Khan Academy on Sunday night, saw Kenya national team Jasiri increase their points tally by 24 medals compared to last year's edition. Jasiri's main challengers, the Philippines, came second, bagging 45 medals, 19 gold, 19 silver and 7 bronze medals during the championship. During last year's event, the Philippines walked away with 27 medals, 13 gold, 11 silver and 3 bronze. DR Congo became the surprise package, finishing 3rd with 12 gold, 5 silver and 10 bronze medals. Zambia finished 4th with 2 gold, 2 silver and 5 bronze medals, while Ivory Coast completed the top 5 teams with 2 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronze medals. 16 nations took part in this year's championship.
The National Olympic Committee of Kenya Deputy Secretary General Shoaib Vayani has been elected as the first Vice President of Africa Sports Shooting Federation. Elsewhere, Kenya National Sports Council Chairman Deritu Gikaria has urged sports federations to present their 2022 budgets early in order to enable early preparations for teams ahead of the new season. Gikaria, who is also the Kenya Handball Federation Secretary General, was recently elected as African President for the Commonwealth Games Council.
Kenya National Sports Council Chairman Deritu Gikaria, who was recently elected as African President for Commonwealth Games Council, has urged sports federations to present their 2022 budget early. This is in a bid to ensure early preparations of teams ahead of the new season.
I'm asking all my 67 federations to be prepared to get fully into sports in year 2022, because looking at the events that are ahead, the Commonwealth, the All Africa Games, the Olympics of 2024, we have to start preparing early. Without early preparations, we can't get anywhere. So I'm asking all the federations to be ready to work very hard in 2022.
He further said that the council will work on increasing the number of teams representing the country in all African Games after Kenya was represented by 24 teams in the previous edition. Elsewhere, National Olympic Committee of Kenya Deputy Secretary General Shoaib Vayani has been elected as the first Vice President of Africa Sports Shooting Federation. Shoaib, who was a board member 10 years ago, before moving up to 4th Vice President for 8 years, garnered 16 out of 19 votes during the General Assembly that was held in Cairo, Egypt. Frederick Moki for Prime Edition.
And finally, English Premier League clubs have chosen to fulfill their festive fixtures despite the ongoing disruption caused by the COVID-19 cases. The league's 20 clubs met today to discuss how they could deal with the challenges faced after 6 fixtures were postponed because of COVID-19 numbers over the weekend. In Sunday's Premier League fixtures, Chelsea named just 6 substitutes for their draw at Wolves, and Liverpool drew at Tottenham without a number of first team names. And that's all we had for you tonight at the KBC Sports News. Let's do this all over again tomorrow, same time, same place. My name is Karen Kibet. Do have yourself a peaceful night. Happy holidays. But the broadcast is not yet over, as I do hand you back to Tom and Purity.
Karen Kibet, fondly referred to as Marakwet Express, we thank you.
Happy holidays to you too, Karen Kibet. Of course, that brings us to the end of Prime Edition this Monday night, Christmas edition.
Oh yes, and also COVID-centric times.
Yeah, we need to be very, very, very careful. I'm Purity Museo. Lensa Odingo has been our sign language interpreter tonight. We do this again tomorrow, same place, same time, God willing. Good night and God bless.
I'm Mboya.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii ya usiogope kumaliza mwaka, bonyeza *811 *758 #.
Hebu tafakari haya. Mpemba haogopi